Top lane, we have Aramis on Clockwork, Shad on, like we mentioned, the position one.
Oh, that's a good figure.
Locked off here.
That is a really
One creep yet? Oh wait. Oh, he doing as much right click
nice.
as possible as these cogs will actually double proc. Shad looks like he'll live.
Done. Very well played by both teams there, actually. Those cogs needed to be perfect from Aramis, and they were. Obviously, Secret with the big win. They forced out a salve. Shad lost some CS. And of course, they're playing
Celery
a Doom
taken
Devourer.
one creep yet? Oh wait. Oh, he was still blocking it. Yeah, Puppy is actually destroying right now. In his own way. Looking at the CS though for the bot lane, 11 and 3 for Matu, which is actually going to go the way of Shad. Denied the Panda Bear though.
Important. So that's basically a hero kill. But yeah, first blood for Boom top with or not Boom. It's just
Shad.
His guild is called Boom for Shad.
Boom.
Boom is playing in mid.
Yes.
Shad and Aramis getting the first blood there onto the Doom.
Is
his
guild is named after himself? That's very
I guess
narcissistic.
Yeah.
Form.
Oh, Matu's taking some bad damage here trying to kill these creeps. It's not working. Yeah, so I thought Lone Druid, I honestly thought Lone Druid would be faring better than this, but just thinking about it and looking at the numbers, it's kind of expected. Toby has a huge damage advantage. His hero has 8 damage more than Matu's, and then he has 2 range creeps that each deal 40, whereas Matu's bear deals 35. So in total, Chen has like a 50 damage advantage in this lane, if all of his units hit correctly. And that is difficult for Lone Druid to deal with. They're actually really winning the lane on CS. More than I thought. I thought Lone would be pretty happy with this, but...
I mean, Celery's more annoyed with the fact that he hasn't been able to get any creeps, but I guess they are doing well enough that it doesn't really matter that much, but we'll see. Mid lane is the one lane we have yet to discuss because there's been so much to talk about. Nisha on the Tiny versus Boom with the Broodmother. So right now he has the advantage in terms of the experience because he's going in and out of the jungle. The CS is basically identical, but it's a bit deceiving from both sides actually, so I guess it maybe evens out not only the spiderlings but the extra neutrals that Brood is taking out. But what are your thoughts on this lane as a whole? Because Nisha obviously talked about the level 4 tree throw will be able to cleave the spiderlings pretty easily if they stick around.
Tiny wins this lane, I'm pretty sure. Like, it's also what's happening right now. He's ahead by 600 net worth minute 6, and he's hitting the tower. And every time Brood comes over, he just has this happen to him. So yeah. Pretty much going as expected. You give Nisha a favorable matchup, he's gonna perform. Biggest concern for Viking, honestly, is if this mid tower falls. Like, that is really bad news. The Brood can't let this happen. It's gonna glyph. I think Nisha will tank this tower.
A lot of damage being done to Zai. Aramis is not going to be able to get the kill, though. It's blocked off by the fissure as well. And we'll actually have to run away a little bit awkwardly here, but Zai is now level 6. I assume he takes Doom, unless there's something I don't
he did.
know about his build these days. Yeah, I do love the, even though it's been a while, the changes to Devour, being able to get that extra regen to stay in lane. It looks like the tier 1 tower will be pressured by both Toby and Celery right now. That bot lane. Looks like the fort will come out as well. So for the Tiny Cinderin, you're gonna have to. Oh, we're gonna have to wait on this thought just here. As TP's in bottom, has the Doom up, of course. Pretty sure they saw him. Not sure what this rotation's all about. He's just walking in now. Maybe they're switching lanes a bit. Now that he's level 6, he can start running around, perhaps.
This rotation basically enables Lone Druid, right? They want Lone Druid to have a better time because the early stages of the laning stage were rough. So what this rotation does is, yes, you show your Doom, but he's already level 6, has his start. You give the space to the clock, or sorry, to the Shaker top who needs some levels in farm. Oh, Puppy even TP'd up there. He could be in trouble.
Yeah, that is
he should be fine.
Into a Venge stun. Aramis.
It's still enough.
Battery Assault not too helpful unless the swap comes in again, which it does, and he's inside the cogs. And the Rocket Flare will finish off Puppy, who has yet to kill a courier, by the way. What the hell? Tier 1 tower
real
now,
Puppy?
Being pressured. It's already at half HP. Celery's kind of stuck in an awkward spot right now. Zai will pop that Scorched Earth. Celery does get some help from Toby. Of course, Doom is available. I don't think that's enough to get this kill, though. So just spacing things out for Matu to continue to hit this tower.
Yeah. And now, because of this rotation, Matu has caught up to Chen. Cost was for Doom to lose, I wouldn't say 2 waves, But they weren't really flat out losses because both Yapzor and Puppey were top to take the experience and some of the gold. I think this is something that a lot of players, even at the pro level, don't think about enough, is you still may be caught up in this old way of thinking with, okay, core is farm and supports move. And a lot of the time, having a high-level core move is a super impactful play. You're seeing right here what it led to, right?
Yapzor, top lane, he was TPing, it gets cancelled by the battery assault in the fog. Down he goes, no TP for him now, quite a while. But he has his sights set on, obviously, that Blink Dagger. I wanted to talk about Tiny, Cinderin, since it's been a while since I've seen the mid Tiny. Old school days when you go like the max avalanche toss, obviously it's all about getting Blink Dagger and stuff like that. But this right-click type Tiny Mask of Madness was the build for a while. I'm guessing that has changed. Right now it's just a casual Morbid Mask into an AC, really. First main item. Interesting. Talk about that in just a moment. Is Armus trying to go for this outpost?
Oh,
looks
nice
like it will remain in Secret's favor. As Shad, yep, toss, or the swap into a kill. So actually both outposts going to Secret right there. That's pretty big, despite losing the... all they lose is the position 5 Puppey.
Yeah, I think they'll take that, especially if they can defend their tower here. I'm not sure they can, though. This push is extremely powerful. It's level 4 Venge Aura. It's Chen with his army. Yeah. Helm of the Dominator. See a tower.
And there's a tomato. Nothing can beat a ripe tomato. That is for damn sure.
That is true. You do hate those.
Mid lane. We see the first doom of the game. The Centaur Stomp will miss, though. And with that, I believe Brood should be fine. Extremely fast, but he actually has run out of web. Zai's going to continue to chase under the tier 2 now. The Scorched Earth is dealing a lot of damage, but there's the heal from Chen, and you're seeing the Diffusal Blade being shown. Zai able to get the stomp only onto one hero, though. He's going to have to tank this tower. It doesn't look to be in his favor this time around. They do get the tier 1 mid, though, Secret, but looks like they're going to have to fall back now.
Yep. Nice Hand of God. Viking are very good at using the spell as late as possible to bait. They did the same thing in their last series against Secret that I think Celery was playing Chen. They had a really big play come out from a Hand of God turnaround. But, like, this wasn't really a win for them. They lost their tower, and I think the Doom is worth less than the tower right now. Zai is definitely slowing his own game down to try to benefit his team from a macro perspective. Like, isn't that great, but... you're getting a lot of space for Lone Druid, you're opening up the map, you're getting Shaker a bit of a space bottom so he can get a dagger. All these things contribute a lot, and hopefully for Zai he can still manage to kind of recover now, because his net worth is not looking great anymore for a laner.
Yeah, that is for sure. Matu's build, by the way, will be the typical Mask of Madness first on the bear, into an MKB. So we've been seeing a lot of Deso into AC. He's not going for that. Celery, oh wow, that Nature's Prophet ult brought him down extremely low. He's baiting a little bit here as Doom's going to get netted up. A TPM from Puppey, though, does have Sprout available. It's going to get Celery inside, and that looks to be his Doom, no pun intended. As Toby, in the meantime, completely surrounded by Secret members. That's going to be 2 easy kills for Secret as they... I'm not sure if they're actually going to go for this tier 2 bot, but Shad and company are top lane, so they do have to worry about this push as well.
I feel like they didn't account for the Nature's Prophet there with their play Viking when they started baiting. Made it really easy for Puppey there. But not the end of the world. You lose 2 heroes like this. It's obviously not great, but no extra structural damage. The tower was already gone. And in the meantime, your Brood got quite a bit of work done mid going on the Tiny with the Diffusal Blade, obviously. Pretty problematic for Nisha, but yeah, I mean, as far as his item build goes, this is indeed very weird. Casual Morbid Mask, I think you almost always buy the Mom when you go this route on Tiny. But I think the reason he wants the AC as fast as possible is, if you look at how Viking's strategy works, right, it's really physical based. It's Chen creeps, it's Brood Spiders, it's Venge, Aura, and I don't think he wants to buy Crimson because he needs to scale. So they'll have somebody else take care of that. Hopefully the Doom would buy it. Or... yeah, probably even Nature's Prophet, but he's going mech. You know, classic pup, he's buying armor. He has Medallion, now he's going mech. You know, every game. He likes his armor.
The jungle always speaks to him as well. You know, he gets, what's that one called again? The armor that lowers your
Medallion?
Attack rate. No, it's from the jungle. I can't even remember the name right now, but...
Oh, the Craggy Coat?
Yes, Craggy Coat. Very good, Cinderin. Armis was smoked up. Zion Company are going to see him. The Rocket Flare comes out. Nisha whiffs the Avalanche. Armis looks like he'll just be boxed in, though. An interesting toss. Either way, this will be a kill going the way of Secret again. Looks like Zai is going for drums before... I agree that Crimson is probably going to be the item after that, but I guess we'll just see. What about the MKB for Matu? Like I was saying, we typically see the Mask of Madness into Deso AC, or at least that's been the most popular I've seen.
He probably needs it against Incapacitating Bite. That has to be the reason, right? Like, the blind from Brood is really heavy on the bear.
Probably the top onto Toby, into the stomp from Zai. And he does have his ult, Toby does. He pops it, but not going to matter a whole lot.
Yapso used Echo only on the creeps, and I think he killed the whole army.
Mid lane, we're going to see a hook shot,
value.
As well as Brood's ult being used to go to town onto Nisha, who's just completely stuck in
he's so tanky, though.
And it's going to be a tier 1 tower to boot.
That's so nicely done from Viking there. It's big. They open up the map a bit more for themselves. And they put their Venge to good use in this game so far. They're playing very aggressively with Shad. And his farm isn't really suffering too much from it either. He still has 100 CS. 110 even. So he's doing very well for himself.
Manta first item for the Vengeful Spirit. Obviously Toby working towards the mech. Any item timings that you're... Oh, I was going to say item timings to be able to go for Roche, but it looks like this is going to be the time. As the Tiny is dead, and this looks to be a relatively quick Roche.
Yep. Their lineup is really good for killing this.
Would this be a Brood or a Venge Aegis?
Brood.
Brood it is. I don't have to worry about being doomed anymore.
Almost has Ags too on the Brood.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So that will ramp him up a lot. He's going to get way more access. When you're playing Brood in your team, it's so important to get just a couple of towers because of how much of an area your Brood can cover compared to other heroes. Once you get the Ags, you really get insane reach for farming. So the fact that Viking managed to get this mid tower before he got the Ags is going to pay off big time, and his ability to just cut through and start getting access to enemy camps. Yeah, he's dead.
In bot lane, the Sprout will slow him a bit, and it's going to be more than enough for Secret to kill him. I guess they want Zai to get the kill. That was interesting movement.
Nisha? Oh, didn't get the toss back.
Right clicks from Tiny do hurt a lot as the Enchantress is actually going to buy back into the game. Toby already low on mana as he's going to get stomped. Hear the swap come out into the Doom immediately onto Shad. Armis with the hookshot onto Nisha now, who's stuck inside the cogs with very little mana, but he's right clicking to a high amount. Or a high degree, and that's more than enough to actually kill the Clockwork. Vengeful Spirit resigned to her death. Looks like she'll get a little bit of damage before dying there, as Nisha looks to be next on the list. So it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Secret right now in terms of numbers. Boom staying alive with just a sliver of HP. Looks like Toby is going to be brought down, though, again. So that's a double kill for Zai. A double kill for Celery on the backside. Is it going to continue now onto both the Bear and Zai himself? Matu, looks like the drums are going to be popped by Zai, but that's not enough to save him. Matu attempting to TP out the Bear. It's going to be close, but no, the last right click from Boom. That extra bounty going his way. And that was the... Oh, no, I'm sorry. He resummoned now, so he does have a second Bear in tow. Yep.
That looked like a very secret-heavy fight for such a long time, but then they finally brought down the Tiny and it started opening up. Like, it takes them a long time to kill Nisha. When he runs out of mana, he just has so much health and armor still to work with that Brood needs to chew through. But yeah, they finally do get him, and then the fight can start opening up a little bit. Do worry a little bit for Viking that if they go on the Tiny like this and Secret are closer, that it's going to cost too much. It's kind of like, think of how a lot of the time you don't want to open on a Wraith King because it takes too long, right?
Well, likely dead. He actually pops the mech, will stay alive as a result. Enchantress maybe bit off a little too much here.
Yeah, she's going to get Nature's Wrath here.
Hand of God. Heals are a decent amount. Bounce. See if they get vision here. Sprout was canceled. They're going to turn this around now onto Zai with Shad dealing so much damage, and Boom is here as well. So that's, looks like that's going to be 2 easy kills going the way of Viking now, as they can easily transition this into a tier 2. And they still have the Aegis on Boom, so he almost died in that last fight, but remained alive and still use the Aegis if they see fit.
This Radiant lineup is starting to accelerate really hard right now. The Brood Ags, all the auras are complete. Chen has a Wolf Creep now. Venge has high levels, so swap level 2 is there.
I believe, yeah, the MKB is now finished on the Bear, so that's the big item timing for him.
Yep.
That's going to be nice. We'll see. I mean, as long as he has 2 bears to work with and he doesn't die himself, certainly deal a lot of damage at the very least. Nisha, in the meantime, has the AC finished, of course. Will be going for a Solar Crest, so it's all about the armor / minus armor. Puppy's actually going for a Force Staff, so more for this clockwork that's been pestering him the whole game.
Still a bit surprised they're not buying Crimson. Maybe
yeah,
they just...
I agree. Yeah, Zai's actually, now that he's finished drums, is going to be finishing Vlad's very shortly. I mean, how much do you think Crimson falls off? Not that this... I mean, if you're going late game, I feel like Secret would have the advantage in terms of just the lineups, but... Do you think Crimson falls off too much? Is that the reasoning?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I feel like most of the time it would be a no-brainer to buy it against Chen Creeps plus Brood, right? So they must just think the item isn't very good. You're not going to find a much better game to buy it than this one, I think. At least it has a lot of value. But they're going to just flat out prioritize armor. So Vlad's AC, maybe they're going to get a Shiva as well to just ramp it up. And obviously the Force Staff from Puppy will be super useful. It's a great item against the Radiant lineup. They don't deal very well with getting repositioned.
Smoke by Secret, see if they can find anybody here. Yapsor, of course, has the Blink Dagger. Oh, they're going to Fissure Brood as his Aegis gets expended. They knew that timing to a T, Cinderin, and they take full advantage of it. Really well
Very
played.
Nice. Yeah, that's the biggest kill on the map they could get. Now they have a full minute of 5v4 opportunity. No Roche, though, but they could probably get this mid-tier, too. If they can get the wave there, but the Spiderlings are cutting mid. So I don't think they're getting it.
Yeah, that is very annoying. Still dead for 40 more seconds, but the majority of Viking is now here. So it looks like Secret's actually going to space things out a bit as Puppy is split pushing a little bit on that Nature's Prophet with Zai. Nisha looks to set his sights on this tier 2, it looks like. It's relatively low HP. Actually, we're going to come back to mid, though. Fissure's going to show that Viking now knows exactly where Secret is, so they're going to reposition themselves a little bit better here. Looks like that tier 2 will be just given up now.
Yep.
What is Nisha buying with his ulti orb? I didn't see it. Is he actually going Manta?
Solar Crest.
Does he have a Yasha somewhere? Oh yeah, that's right. It was Solar Crest. So that's going to be done very shortly.
Secret were like, what else can we buy that has armor? So, what's the next item that has armor? Blade Mail?
Oh, hook shot. Gonna connect onto Yapsor. And this is why he is building a Force Staff next. If you get caught by Clockwork, you are done as an Earthshaker. But it looks like that will be the only kill going the way, at least right now. Zai on the high ground at the moment. Armis. They have vision, but they just have no way to catch. Shad not in range for his level 2 swap at this point. And he's going MKB now on the Venge, so it's going to be a Manta MKB combo. Well, combo as in... I mean, you don't really see... How often do you see Venge position 1 these days, Cinderin?
Not very much. But usually when you do, they do go for these kind of fighting builds. Not really so aura heavy, but more true carry style. Right. So it's not that surprising. And the nice thing about the MKB proc in this game is that you're looking at the enemy team, right? And how much they're stacking up on armor. The MKB procs are magical. So they're gonna go through that armor and actually increase Venge's damage by a quite substantial amount. So I like the logic there. It's also just become a lot more popular, this item in general. I think people are opening up to the fact that It's also received some buffs, so I mean it's multiple things at once.
Next big item that's going to be added to Dota will change your attacks to magical damage, Cinderin.
Oh wow, where do you have that idea from?
It's from Heroes of North. It's really good though. I actually think it would be, if you balance it right, it could be pretty fun to have in the game, just as an option to, you know, get more mixed damage, because a lot of these lineups like you're talking about, they can be countered if you just get a lot of armor if you're all physical, or if you just get a couple BKBs for all magical / pipe. So you can, it's a nice way to itemize and change things up. As Nisha's gonna pound upon this tier 1, and that looks to be, Toby's actually here, surprisingly enough, but he will retreat.
They want to fight here, but the tower's already gone.
It looks like they do. Zaya's gonna take an impetus. Shad, of course, that is one way to initiate getting that swap online, but of course you are playing a position 1 Venge. As Armis, with those Nisha just one-shots those spiders. Oh dear. And there's the Force Staff being used onto Nisha, and a couple right clicks to follow. So, yeah, he does a lot of damage, Cinderin.
It is. I think you just accept that your spiders are not playable, except if Tiny is dead, or not at the part of the fight you're at, because right now this is a... He actually even took the spider at damage attack talent, right? So he's definitely committed to the idea of the spiders being strong. I'm very curious to see what he does on 25. If he takes the health on the spiders or takes his own insatiable hunger talent.
Yeah.
It's pretty telling.
I feel like if you go the spider attack damage, you kind of have to go the health, don't you? Maybe if you regret your decision, then you switch it up.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, you know, that's one of the things about talents, the state of the game. You can build for one timing, and then once that's over, you might want to go a different route, because the timing has, like, the moment where you really wanted this talent, it didn't win you enough, and then you have to kind of recover. Just as how you do with itemization sometimes, right? Like, talents is another way where you can get a different read on the game state. And be like, okay.
Nisha gets the double damage, and they know that Roche is up. But this Roche is going very, very fast. And it looks like Clockwork's going to try to slow things down. But a huge Echo Slam by Yapsal onto 3 heroes. But Roche is taken, and Boom is going to reap the rewards. But Clockwork and Venge die immediately. The Clockwork's going to buy back into the game, but your position 1 Venge is donezo. Brood destroys that bear, and he is in hardcore ridiculous mode with his arms flailing all over the place. And again, as Celery... HP from 1 swing from Nisha, and the Doom was applied to Brood. Of course, remember, the Aegis is still there, so he doesn't really care too much. Now we're going to apply all his sights onto Nisha, trying to kite a little bit here. Remember, their Venge still cannot buy back into this game, as Clockwork's going to die back now. Good fissure, blocking people off. Zaya's tossed in. He's going to apply his sights now onto this Enchantress. Looks like Boom is going to get away safely, but Toby looks to not be in the same category here. So that is going to be 4 dead if you count the dieback onto Clockwork, but Aegis is still intact along with the cheese.
Yeah, that's pretty alright. Pretty alright for Viking, unless this hurts too much. Because this lineup from Secret, it takes buildings real fast. You still have 2 dead for 30 seconds. Nisha and Matu together can make quick work of this barracks.
Yep.
I'm gonna glyph.
They need their Clockwork. Oh,
good
fissure into the stomp, and that is enough to kill the Venge again, and the illusion on top to add insult to injury. And they know she doesn't have buyback because she just didn't use it before. So definitely not online, as Boom pops the BKB and his ult, but it's not enough to withstand this right-click damage from Nisha. This is crazy. The minus armor is insane, and that is the Aegis down. The melee racks has already fallen. Nisha, not a whole lot of mana to speak of. See if they can kill Boom a second time. Doesn't look to be the case. Diffusal now on Matumba Men's Bear. Nisha, it's like Secret want to back up here. 15 seconds and the Venge will return. That was a huge kill on Venge, and that kind of opened up everything for Secret, as they now sport a 7k net worth lead at 28 minutes. All right, they're going to apply some damage to this tier 3 here in the bot lane. And they're gonna, by apply damage, I mean they're going to kill it very easly. All right, Venge is here now. The stun on top of the bear. Big stun from Zaya. Essentially a Ravage into an Echo Slam. My lord! This wombo combo from Secret will ensure a second Rax at the very least. Boom is forced to pop the cheese as he flails his arm even more. And nobody can deal with Nisha right now. Zai jumps in with his hand, the purple hand of death, if you will. Nobody's giving a high five as they're about to GG out of this game 1 for Secret. That was
what a sick stomp from Zai. Blink 3-man War Stomp gives ample time for YapzOr to get in position to get a beautiful Echo Slam there, and that's one way to win the game. And that's what we were talking about with Viking, right? Like, this lineup, I actually think they played it pretty damn well. And once again, like, I want to give this team credit every game we see them play against Secret, even though they've lost 3 in a row now. Like, they're playing good Dota. But from Zai, Blink 3-man War Stomp gives ample time for YapzOr to get in position to get a beautiful Echo Slam there, and that's one way to win the game. And that's what we were talking about with Viking, right? Like, this lineup, I actually think they played it pretty damn well. Once again, like, I want to give this team credit every game we see them play against Secret, even though they've lost 3 in a row.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Game 2 of this best of 3 between Viking and Team Secret for the Beyond Epic League lower bracket. Right now, Secret has a 1-0 advantage, Cinder, and they have won 3 in a row that we have all cast together.
Yep.
Anything different this game? Are we going to see the Broodmother, Chen, Enchantress lineup again? Will they give it a try a second time round?
No.
Oh.
No, they won't. But I think it's something to think about that Viking have lost 3 games in a row now against Secret. Obviously not on the same day, but in the same week. A lot of the time when this happens in tournaments, the team that loses that many games just kind of runs out of ideas. You've seen it at the absolute highest level at LANs with... there's been quite a few historical series with, say, Kuro-led teams against Puppy-led teams in finals, where Kuro in the 4th game is kind of just like... He feels like he's out of ideas, you know? Like, you have this pool and you have this strategy or like line of play, if you will, that you enter the tournament with, and at some point, if all of the stuff that has worked for you the whole way just gets shut down every time, you need to come up with something different, and a lot of the time it doesn't work because it's not as trained in your players, right? And that's my concern here for Boom. They've tried three times now against Secret. They've lost all 3 games. They've looked good, but they've never been close to winning, right? Like, they've been competitive. The games have felt close in terms of gold or in terms of the team's potential of winning, but I don't think Viking have taken a base tower against them yet. Am I wrong in saying that?
Ooh, that's
oh wait, they actually
question.
did get in a lane of racks, didn't they? They got a lane of racks, I think.
The 60-minute game felt pretty close. I don't remember about...
I think they probably got a lane of racks. But yeah, you gotta work something out here. It's not surprising to see them ban some of the same stuff, right? They banned the Weaver, you're banning Shaker this time because that was a problem for you last game from Yapzor, you're banning the Void Spirit that Secret love to open with. There's nothing wrong here about what Viking are doing, but there's still... something needs to click that gets them a win, and maybe what they need to do is get a little bit more tempo in the game overall. I mean, that's kind of ironic considering what they ran last game, right? But maybe it's about finding the right balance.
That was too much tempo.
Maybe you didn't have the right balance between team fight and pushing. Maybe you had a little bit too much in the way of pushing and too little in the way of damage. And Secret also just played a great game and itemized very well. I think it's something that some teams are particularly good at, identifying what type of game it is before it even begins. And they almost just line up who's buying what, like exactly what items you need. They were like, this is a physical game, so we're going to buy AC's first item on Tiny after Morbid Mask. We're going to buy Solar Crest on Tiny. We're going to buy Vlad's on Doom. Chen will buy Medallion, so they had Medallion and Solar. Like, you know, that's just a very clear read on the game. And maybe Viking need to make it a little bit more difficult for Secret to make the right read by diversifying their strategy a bit.
The cool thing about this draft is you mentioned the first 4 bans overall were exactly the same as before. The next 4 bans were all in the last game. Earthshaker, Nature's Prophet, Venge, and Ench, which leaves the tree open. It leaves a lot of things open that were banned last time, which includes the Luna, Pangolier, and Batrider specifically being open if they want to take them here.
There's also Coddle Ember.
Yes, that is. We've talked about this so many times. I actually forgotten about it, Cinder. I blocked it from my memory. It feels so strong. How could anyone leave that open? I mean, that was open last time.
Yeah.
I don't think Ember or Coddle were picked or banned last game, so I think it switched things up.
Yeah, I think you're right. You can't ban everything. Like, when it's at this level of play, there's a lot of strategies at work, and you gotta choose which one you think is more possible for you to deal with. Sometimes you give teams what they want, sometimes you don't. But you can't ban Secret out. Like, it's just not a possibility. So you try to lead them in a direction where you can find a strategy that can have the upper hand. And now you're left in the Batrider, so Secret are gonna first face that against your Treant, and then Earth Spirit as well.
Okay.
Very, very powerful laning heroes together. So Batrider obviously very dangerous for most heroes to lane against when a couple of sticky stacks are up, and Earth Spirit is an amazing mobility hero to reposition them. Like, Bat plus Earth Spirit feels so damn good because once you have 2 or 3 stickies, it's such an obvious go call for Earth Spirit to just go in. If he connects on the roll, he kicks them into Bat, and they either die or TP out. You also have the option of obviously not rolling right away and saving it as a TP cancel, which is also a very common way of trying to escape Bat. Viking have to address this. They have to pick a carry that can lane against bat. There's like almost no choice, I think.
I don't think is it considered a bad hero now? Because back in the old days, anybody picks Batrider in any situation. Obviously, you have like a Photic Shield from Abaddon. You have Venge Swap, which isn't a possibility here. But you're talking about how you don't care that much about the Lasso these days. What about the old school counter of Nyx Assassin? How often is that a hero anymore? With the Spike Carapace just completely ruining Batrider.
It would be pretty good here because it's also good against Earth Spirit, right? Like, he has all this uncontrollable damage that you can easily Carapace on. The problem is, I don't think you can pick it with Treant in the start, and maybe not even together in general, because they kind of do some of the same things, right? As a support duo. They scout, they place vision, they don't deal a lot of damage. I'm saying that about Nyx, because, yeah, you have this initial burst, but after that in teamfights, unless it's a great mana burn game, you're kind of a stun, right? You're a control hero, you're not a killer. Earth Spirit will deal more damage than Nyx in every game. So if your other support is Tree, who's very limited damage,
support as well,
and double melee support, and if you lane them together, you're not happy either. And Nyx gets destroyed by Bat in lane. That's another problem. Like, Carapace is good later, but in the laning stage, Nyx doesn't stand a chance. Like, you can't even hit creeps.
So who is good against Batrider in lane?
Mainly carries. Like, every carry that can get rid of sticky can obviously lane. So say heroes like Lifestealer, Phantom Lancer. Weaver's fine because he has super high mobility regardless of being napalmed. Juggernaut, Faceless Void with time dilation. And you can even lane against Bat with heroes that aren't good against, but they need to be extraordinary laners. Like Troll can play against that in the right circumstance. If you have like Troll, Treant, you could lane against Bat possibly. Honestly, even then I'm worried for them. I just don't think Tree, like, I'm super happy to see Secret pick Bat into Tree. I feel like it's Batrider's maybe his best matchup in the entire hero pool. It is so good for Bat. I love playing
They
this
should have
matchup.
seen that coming though, right, as a possibility. So
yeah, they probably should. Like, maybe they didn't think Secret would first phase it, but considering you first phase banned it last game, you're right, you can't be too surprised.
Well, Viking will go for a Queen of Pain Grimstroke. Puck against Queen of Pain sounds pretty amazing with the coil and whatnot.
It is.
And actually makes the Yule's purchase, which Quap would want to go for, not useless, but against coil, it's quite useless.
This is a really good Spectre game right now.
For Secret?
Yeah. You're a hero that can jump on Quap after she blinks and kill her with Haunt. You can get Vision of Treant when you initiate the fights, so you have more information to go on. You're really good against Grimstroke. And on top of that, I just love Spectre with Puck. I feel like it's one of the best hero pairings for Spectre, just because there's this very clear-cut fight initiation, right? You coil one or two heroes, Spectre can now Haunt and either go on the heroes in the coil and try to kill them, or go on the heroes outside of the coil and prevent them from helping the ones that are inside it. I still think Secret might consider it last, but they're going to wait with their carry, picking Kunkka here. Okay. One of the main reasons I'm considering the Spectre is that it's also made a bit of a resurgence, right? It's coming back, so...
Yeah, every time I've seen it in our cast, at least, it's very strong.
Yep.
Of course, you do have the possibility, Cinderin, of Ag's Grimstroke. You copy Spectre. That is one strong possibility. You do have to get the farm, though, on Grimstroke, which is not always easy.
But yeah, Spectre Illu is no joke. I still think the Luna illusion is better. But
who's the best illusion in the game for Grimstroke?
Probably Luna.
Morphling and full Agi?
Ah, that's also really good. But then it has very little health.
Terrorblade meta?
I'm not sure. Also good. I don't know. I think my choice would still be Luna overall. In most cases, I think it's the best. But Morphling is probably second place. It also depends what kind of game it is. Like, Radiant Spectre can also be incredible, right? Like, it's a lot more lineup dependent how good that is. So I think this is a 5 puck, by the way, at this point. Which is obviously something Viking were probably not thinking about too much. But now that you pick Kunkka, you probably want your Bat and Kunkkas to be cores, and Puppy loves 5 puck. That's why I think he's gonna play it. Good lifesteal game.
Alright.
I like it.
Yeah,
it's good against all the heroes.
can't wait to talk about itemization on this hero. It feels like when they made the changes to him, it was all about the Mjolnir or Radiance.
Yeah.
Pretty much every single game.
This might make Secret not go Spectre. I mean, I'm also kind of hung up in it, right? Like, who even knows if they want it, right? I'm just speaking for it here. They could have any reasons to go for something else. Let's look at what other heroes are good with the information they have. They'll obviously see one more hero after this Lifestealer coming out from Viking. So, overall, Viking's lineup is very susceptible to mobility, I would say. Lifestealer doesn't like it, Treant doesn't like it, Grimstroke doesn't like playing against mobile heroes unless he lands the silence, because they can get away from Inkswell. It's kind of a two-way thing where if he does get him a nasty soulbind, it's obviously incredible, but it's not necessarily reliable. So either something that's mobile or something that can truly just stand its ground and not die during an overgrowth and a Lifestealer hitting it with Ghost Ship on top. There's a few heroes that could do that. Medusa is a possibility here. I think Slark could be very interesting. He both has the mobility and the survivability and the good hero matchup against both Lifestealer and Treant. Also a Matu favorite. Faceless Void is nice. Similar logic. Tanky, can escape. Good against Lifestealer.
Phantom Lancer.
Yeah, he's solid too. Actually, Secret have a lot of good options here. I think the next pick from Viking is very difficult to make, and it needs to be high impact, because if we can point out like 3 or 4 carries that we feel are all good, it means Viking's lineup has some bases to cover, right? So they need to limit that carry pool. Okay, that makes Peel a lot worse. That's probably what they're targeting here. They banned the Morphling, who would have also been good. I think this could be Slark, actually. I'm digging Slark here. It's so good. It's so good, this game. They have so much catch, lockdown, control. He just needs heroes to get on top of and not to die, and in this game it's not very difficult to stay alive.
Dark Pact does not take off Phantom's Embrace, though.
Correct.
Right? That's one thing.
That's the only thing. That's the only threat, but you can play around that with Shadow Dance, or obviously if you have attack speed, you can kill it. It's not like you're gonna get stunned, right? Like, there's no stuns except Inkswell, so you just need to play around the route. If you precast Dark Pact and then get Embraced, you can obviously still break Overgrowth if it gets cast meanwhile, and if it doesn't, you might have killed the ghost already. So yeah, I think Slark Void, they might still go PL if they fancy that. Naga.
You're just naming every carry. You're saying every carry is good this game for Secret.
Nah, I think that's about it.
You named like half the carries in the
Actually,
game.
Bloodseeker is pretty good too.
Alright, let's see what carries you didn't mention. I'm gonna alt-tab here and look at the carry list.
Dude, Ricky
you didn't
is
mention
good.
Sniper. Will be the Slark, though.
Yeah.
So they...
Fair enough.
pick the best of the options.
I mean, think about that though. Like, what a spoiled position to be in. You have last pick. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he agrees. It's very possible that Mata has a different read on this and thinks that some of the heroes I suggested are not good, but I just see such a plethora of amazing choices for his pick. It's so good to be in that spot and as a carry. Like,
a lot of it maybe comes down to, maybe not in this case, but player preference, what they just feel like playing. If there's that many options, like, all right, what do you feel like playing? I mean, I've had a lot of experience just being in the room with pro players when they're picking it. A lot of times it's not the best pick that they go with the carry. It's like they ask the carry, what do you want to play? And that's what they'll do most of the time, I feel like.
Yeah, what a great position to be in.
Indeed.
Hey man, what do you want to play? Oh, I would like to, out of my 7 heroes that are good here, today Slark sounds fun. So I will play Slark.
I feel like playing Slark. Why not? Steal some ad.
Obviously worth noting here, the Queen of Pain that Viking picked early is going to be offlane. They're putting Boom and mid on Ember, and Shad carry Lifestealer. And Puppy is indeed going to be playing the 5 puck, and it is a 3 bat. So everything going as expected here.
All right, Cinderin, the question that we've all been waiting for. We're turning this into the reverse in Bruges. It's the beginning of every game. I will be asking you this forever now. Take away the teams, okay? Delete them from your mind. Which lineup do you like more?
I love the Dire lineup. I think it's super good, this game.
Okay. Not a surprise.
Only concern, they don't really have tower damage, and they're playing against Treant, so it could become a bit difficult to break through. But the upside there is there's no threat from Viking either, right? They don't have good siege either. If Viking had some good siege heroes here somehow, then maybe if Treant can defend and you can make your own tower plays, it could get a bit scary. But
what is this? What is this Queen of Pain? I just saw her with the Arcana. This is unacceptable.
Yeah, me too.
Did he
unequip it?
All right, this is going to be very disappointing.
That's bait.
I was looking forward to the whip, not gonna lie. Kunkka has a... Is that a crow on his shoulder? I don't know if I've seen that cosmetic. Alright, it is the regular Queen of Pain. We are disgusted with this choice. This is... Ugh. God. It's actually... There's no cosmetics on her. So we saw the Arcana when it was Pixinderin, and then in that loading screen it was a different set, and now in game it's the default quab. What is this?
But it still shows that he has items equipped.
Oh, you're right. Wow. That is weird.
Okay, hear me out. What if
connect during the load screen?
In order to advertise the Quap Arcana, what if every game in the loadout just shows Quap with her Arcana on?
Yes, they need all the help they can get because they're sure not destroying in that prize pool right now. Did you see that graphic of what it looks like? Oh my god. They could literally not do anything the rest of the duration of the battle pass and they would still beat last year. So, in case anybody was wondering if Valve can keep up the prize pool, I think we can probably go to like TI 20 and have no problem with this. You just got to come up with like 1,000 different Arcana ideas and personas. Of course, Legion Commander, I think in that Battle Pass, Syndrin, if you just have Legion Commander as the persona of the original Legion from Dota 1, which is the guy with the thick mustache on a obese horse, Tristan, he...
Let's say I said Tristan.
Wait, what did you say? Tresden? Tresden. Yeah. That would actually just increase the prize pool exponentially. You don't need anything else in the battle pass. It could be empty, just the one persona, and it would win.
Holy moly!
I think maybe it's a title. Yeah, I don't remember. The lore. Don't ask me. Legion Commander, original name. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't Tresden. I don't know for sure. That's a good trivia, though. I can look that up later. Okay. Matu's going to be playing mid, by the way, on Slark. He's going to harass Boom. So why do they have the same name? I think the lore is Legion kills him and takes his place as Legion Commander. But there's no reason that they should have the same name.
Just absorbed him entirely.
Well, if that were true, she would have a mustache, which would be a great cosmetic choice for her, in my opinion.
Well, she does say nice mustache.
Wait, what? She does?
It's one of her voice lines is nice mustache. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
But it's not about herself.
Yes, of course. Well, so we think. I mean, you never know. Nope, top lane, we're going to see some pressure from Aramis, trying to get Nisha out of the lane. But the lanes have swapped a bit, so let's talk about that. Shad playing the Nakes, a.k.a. Lifestealer, in the bot lane with Celery's Grimstroke against Zai, who has been ink-swelled now. Batrider and Yapzor's Earth Spirit. Who do you like, or how do you like this lane overall?
I would say it's a good lane for Batrider, just because there's no real threat on him. You can just cut the wave safely. It means you're facing against the Grimstroke, but you always have the threat of Earth Spirit connecting. Both heroes are just gonna farm. Lifestealer will be happy and Bat will be happy. And considering that one team counterpicked the other, you know, the Bat should be happier, right? They tried to solve him and it's not gonna work. And the bigger thing for me, honestly, is the way Secret put the other lanes. They got Slark the dream matchup of playing against Ember mid. It is such a good lane for Slark. He effectively avoids having to play against the Queen of Pain, who they can easily play against with the Kunkka. Alright, Puppy. Taking some damage here. Good phase shift, though. And they get their game-winning hero and incredible laning stage. Secret are already crushing the lanes on CS. Look at that. Like, Boom can't really come to the creep wave. Like...
Yeah, we got 2 levels of essence shifts, so pretty much has to do that. Come back in
Celery.
Different time increments there. Celery, yeah. 3 stacks of sticky napalm right now. Yapzor continuing to pound. upon him, but the tier 1 tower will keep Celery safe, it looks like. He has made it, but I don't think at this stage he could even help mid if he wanted either. So Boom just has to kind of deal with what he has, hope for the best. Looking at the CS though, 10-3 for the Ember versus the 19-10 for Matu's Slark. So like you said, just completely dominating that lane. And then one lane we haven't really talked about too much. Toby on the Queen of Pain with the Treant Protector Aramis versus Puppy's Puck and Nisha's Kunkka. So obviously when you pick Kunkka you think mid lane, but this time it's going to be the safe lane. As bottom lane, Yapzor was trying to get the kill onto Celery, but feels like Celery is just like sitting by these waves trying to make it annoying for Zai, but Zai's just getting everything he wants. Anywho, top lane, Synderin. What are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts?
Yes. Do you like this Queen of Pain non-cosmetic or not?
That's what you were fishing
for. Your best analysis. It's the rune battle, by the way, 4 minutes. Oh, Matu's not going to hit the pounce, actually, and the rune is bottom.
His Orb of Venom, though, it's so many stacks. Yeah. Like, even if he doesn't get this kill, Boom... He lost so much here. Like, he can't really CS.
And he can't even go for the rune, either. Zai got extremely low, but be fine right
He has
now.
Bottle. He's going to refill that with the rune.
Oh, mid lane,
Boom
Ember.
might be dead here.
Oh, he pops the Fairy Fire. Oh, Matu's not going to chase.
Yeah, that one might have actually been killable. I agree. He had
like
a Fairy himself, and he had Orb Venom, but...
Maybe it's better just to keep him low. I mean, I actually love this strategy.
That is a fair point. Like, it might even be better not to kill him. Or he might be indifferent. It's like, the most important thing here is that I'm just owning him. Whether he dies or not, I'm gonna stabilize the lane. And if he doesn't die here, he has to run all the way back to base and TP out, which is about the same loss as dying for him. It's less of a gain for Matu, I guess, but... Yeah, it might sound weird, but it's actually very minor here if he gets that kill or not. It doesn't...
Even if it's the actual first blood, extra gold and whatnot.
That's true. It's first blood. Yeah. Okay. And it's probably that's.
It's funny that you're talking about with
this.
this patch and all. Like just general. Like if it wasn't first blood, I think I would agree. I would rather have him just go back to base, walk it the old-fashioned way. But yes, you'd have to look at the numbers to know for sure. Celery in the bot lane, getting pressured by Yapzor. Pops his wand with very little charges, and Yapzor's gonna be able to get first blood for himself. So I mean, it feels like Celery has just been. I don't know what else he can do, but he's just being met constantly on his side of the map by either Yapzor or Zai. It's on a consistent basis. It'd be very annoying.
Yep.
Well, mid lane, Ember Spirit will take a spill this time around. Matu is level 6. And yeah, he is completely dominating. If we look at the actual net worth, he is top of the charts for his team. I mean, I guess we should talk about Lifestealer since Shad is the top net worth right now. So he already has his phase boots. We'll be going for an armlet. I did want to talk about item builds on Lifestealer. We get the moment as the X marks the spot top lane will result into absolutely nothing. What are you buying Lifestealer?
Exciting.
So armlet obviously into what?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the best item is here, to be honest. I think, based on how his other cores are doing, he might have to do the brunt of the damage, so maybe Radiance is not enough. Like, maybe he has to get heavy single target. He's going on to Zai here, doing some harass, but Zai still got the wave.
Courier's gonna be killed by Yapzor in the meantime.
Not
just
Puppy.
Walk that. Oh, Kunkka.
Oh, they killed Nisha. 3 men. They rotated the Grim, so... Yeah, getting him out of bottom, I think is definitely the right call, right? Your lifesteal's free farming, his lane is great. Your lane was terrible, so now go somewhere else and be useful. It's either you gank top or you start making stacks for your Ember. Those are the 2 best plays on the map, probably. It's almost unkillable for him. So, yeah. Did the right thing there, going top in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, as well as Lifestealer's farming, Zai is just getting like everything as well. He's only 600 behind as a position 3 versus the position 1. Gonna get most of these creeps. That was a double stacked waves right there. Boom. Speaking of stacks, has quite a few bombs applied right now.
Oh, Zai's in trouble. He might have to lasso TP here. Or maybe he could just TP flat out.
He has open wounds, not choosing to use it yet. I don't know if he was quite in range.
Okay, that's what's it.
Yeah, and there, lasso is used into the TP.
Do feel like
Matu's chasing.
that was avoidable, but maybe he was hoping he wouldn't have to TP at all.
Or he's just wasting Shad's time as long as possible, so...
Holy moly!
But yeah, when the changes were made to Feast on Lifestealer, we saw a lot of Mjolnir. We saw a decent amount of rate. It was mostly Mjolnir for a long time into Halberd. And actually, I think Armlet was a non-existent item for that hero.
Yeah,
actually.
people weren't taking that. Oh, good pounce top. They're trying the torrent. Toby's gonna dodge it nicely, but he's still toast.
Too much damage, yeah. X will ensure that he cannot get away. A nice kill from Secret again. Matu has 2 permanent agility, Cinderin. I'm sure he's very excited about that.
That is more than one.
Yes, it is. Is there a stage of the game in terms of itemization or levels that Viking is looking to like be the aggressor, so to speak? I know we're just ending like the laning stage at this point, so maybe it's a little early to talk about that, but like when this armlet comes online, is that an important timing to start fighting maybe?
I mean, so theoretically, it's around this time that they want to make moves with Queen of Pain and Ember, right? But their lanes have just gone really bad. Ember lost hard. Quap lost. Not mega hard, but she's low level. She's level 5 minute 920. Because Treant has just shared the lane evenly. And I think it's a mistake for Treant to take this much experience. Like, it's costing Toby way too much impact in the game. So they had to have found a way around playing this way top if possible, where Aramis walks away when there's a big wave or something like that, so Quap could have got 6 earlier. So now they want to. The question is, are they even strong enough? And if they aren't, then I think you have to wait primarily for levels. Like Ember needs a couple more levels in Sleight and maybe 1 in Chains. Ideally, Quap would like 4 in Scream. Oh, Lasso. That's a dead Grimstroke.
Oh, the pounce canceled the TP on Ember Spirit. Oh my goodness. That was like the last half second, and Matu just ran into him in the fog. That was very fortunate. And he's going to find a kill onto Cellar. This is...
Oh, he killed him while the Invis was kicking in, so now he's also invisible.
Well, I'm sure they know about this, but Shad is continuing to farm the jungle. And I guess he doesn't know. The silence comes in from Yapzor. There's the rage. So Shad, I assume, will be fine with the infest.
Oh, they're gonna just they're gonna full on dive this.
Can they?
Luckily for him, it's a siege creep wave.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, that's an awesome
if that's not a siege wave, he's dead.
What's that from? Is that a cosmetic for... Is that an immortal? Is that the new one?
Yeah, I think it's the new golden one.
That looks sick. Wow. That looks really cool.
Why was there no animation when he popped out? Does that only work on enemy units?
Yeah, probably. So that is the... Okay, so yeah, that's right. He has 2 immortal helms, right? So that is the new one. That's really cool. I guess I just haven't seen it in game yet. Unlike the Night Stalker one that you love, and it's awful. Jesus. Horrible.
Don't you just I love is an overstatement. Don't you just love the Lifestealer outfit, though? Golden Dark Maw Inhibitor. Golden Profane Union. Golden Dread Requisition. Red Rage
Belt.
Crawler Belt.
Just a regular belt. Well, we gotta wait for next year.
I don't even know what options Lifestealer has in that slot.
Not much. It's the least
no clue.
Valuable area, for sure. Yapzor, bottom lane. Looks like he will be found here. And that will be an easy
Doing some good damage, but nice kill. Oh, this could be costly. Nice overgrowth.
The is going to keep him in place on the cliff. Puppy with the coil onto 3 heroes. Sonic Wave to follow, though. Puppy taking the brunt of that damage, but they're going to clean up the Queen of Pain very, very easily. And the Treant as well, so it's a 2 for 2.
Great heads-up play from Celery as well, though. I think Viking played that really well, the way they managed to disengage. Yes, they lose 2 heroes, but given how that coil looked, that could have been a total disaster. But they got out a really good Grimstroke silence on the bat, so he didn't lasso. And yeah, kind of just reset it and managed to find their way out on... Especially Lifestealer. He was dead there if he got lassoed for sure. Slark was ready to just get the job done, but...
Speaking of Slark, he's been X.
He's X-marked and smoked.
Got his defusal as well.
Oh, they're not going to expect this. This comes so suddenly. He's definitely finding a kill here.
Definitely. All right, that means he's not going to get a kill. I'm calling that right now. Puppy He's baiting a bit. Toby.
There is no way this Grimstroke isn't just dead now.
There's no
like
way that he can kill Celery. Somebody else is going to take it from him. Quickly, quickly. Oh, so close, Puppy, with that illusory orb. Looks like Cinderin wins this one. And the tier 1 tower will likely fall next. Zai still smoked. I'm going to take out the wave now. See if Viking can at least trade a tier 1. They have done 0 damage to this tower thus far.
Just want to point out Matu is 7-0, minute 13.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's a good Slark game. So he's still barely top net worth. Only got top net worth from hitting that tower, because Lifesteal's game has been incredible as well. There's just so much of a gap between the next heroes, right? Those two are hand in hand, but then Kunkka with over a 2k lead over the Quap. And Bat with, well, I guess we're comparing oranges and apples here a bit.
Shad, oh, the silence very nicely timed onto Zai. Can't get the last one off. Finally does, but dies immediately after. See the Grimstroke ult applied to 2. They don't really have a follow-up, though, as Celery's going to take the ship to the face. Shad continuing to try and get away. His rage comes back up in 1 second. Nice damage from Kunkka, as Boom takes basically half his HP. His Sonic Wave is not quite enough to take out Matama. He's going to force his ult now. He will just back up and heal passively. What an ultimate that is. Little itemization update. So we're talking about potential items for Shad. It looks like he will be going armor strat with the Deso.
He's going Deso. It's what I expected. He's going to get damage, right? Like, they have some control with Ember, Grim, and Treant, but the damage is, the lack of damage is showing, right? Like, ooh. The Secret team just not dying if they're ghost shipped.
Yeah. So my question is, does he continue to go, like, normally, I say normally, but if, like, in historic senses, actually Toby's infest. Oh my god, the animation on that is so sick. I need to play this hero, Cinderin. Shad pops the rage. Puppy will be able to get out, though, so they expended quite a bit to try to get that kill, and now Shad gonna take the brunt of the damage from the Slarky Malarkey. As you see, the armlet is not quite enough to save your life.
This is bad.
Now Toby looks to be next on the list. His blink is not up anytime soon, so 3 dead in very quick succession here for Secret.
Boom even has to concede the rune. Good call there to not go for that. He would have met his demise there to the Slark. Might still get... Oh my god, perfect timing. Oh.
Wow. He does have a remnant, but he's still pounced right now, and he's slowed perpetually.
10-0, minute 15.
That is 10 agility as well.
This game is looking like Vikings' worst loss in this tournament, probably. They are just getting absolutely annihilated. There's not much good stuff to write home about. They lost their lanes, they're losing the fights, they're losing map control, losing on towers, runes, everything. Seeker just completely outclassing them in this game. Zai is trying to be setting something up here,
lasso, but
okay.
The overgrowth to follow, as Shad will be able to claim himself a kill. Matumba Man comes in with all that extra agility. Sonic Wave onto 2. Matu still has his ult, as the boat is going to hit on 3 or 4 heroes. And the Grimstroke ult to follow. Not sure if they have follow-up on top of that, though. Celery getting extremely low to that Earth Spirit ult, as you're seeing, again, the Infest do massive damage. It's a 2-for-1 right now, as they're going to turn their sights onto Nisha. That is the Kunkka dead, so a nice fight for Viking as they're going to chase Matu. He's going to pick up this DD. And I think with that, they're going to say, yeah, okay. Can't deal with you.
Yeah, nice reaction from Viking. Oh, maybe it's not over yet.
Yeah, Matu wants more. The pounce is just going to miss the blink in time. And with that, Zai get out. But Matu claims another kill. Celery just happens to be wrong place at the wrong time.
Blink on Quab.
Pounce, pounce. Oh, he hits it! The DD on top. Is this enough, though? Toby with the blink will be enough to get out, and this will be a huge kill onto Matu. And that is 600 gold in the pocket of Shad. Overconfidence. That did require a buyback from Grim.
Yeah. Oh, man, well worth it, though. Lifesteal got the kill. That's big.
Is it, though? And we've talked about this patch so much. How big of a deal is that?
I mean, it's a big deal because they need big deals. If that makes sense.
It does not, actually.
No.
They need any deal they can get, is what you're trying to say.
So the way this whole thing started, top with was obviously Batrider. Zai tried to get a good lasso. Oh wait, we have another fight.
We do have a fight. The tier 1 tower is about to fall. Boat to follow. This might have been a bait from Secret. Earth Spirit's gonna die though, and Puppey to follow. So perhaps they baited themselves a little bit here. A Grimstroke ult onto 2 again, but there's the lasso. They need this Lifestealer kill. Infest is up into a creep, and he will live, but Boom will not be so lucky. So Secret, after all that, only find 1 kill. But it does go Matu's way again. 13 permanent agility. Continue your thought. I think we'll have a little bit of time now.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like an eternity ago now, but basically Zai started a lasso next to the tower, and Treant was ready to overgrowth him, so Zai didn't get out. If he gets that pull on Lifestealer, it's just a clean Lifestealer kill and nothing else happens, but Viking were ready, and they need to be ready because this Dire lineup has so much mobility and initiation that if you don't set traps or move in at least pairs, you're just going to get picked off all the time. Top lane, Puppey.
Oh, top. Yeah. I'm going to see the Ink Swell on top of the Silence coming out from Celery. So Shad, he's 8-1, and he actually has the net worth lead over Matu by 1,200. That is a little surprising considering, I mean, I guess it is 8, but 13-1 on Matu. And actually, Matu, he went Heaven's Halberd.
Yeah, he's countering the Lifestealer.
Amazing against Lifestealer.
Yeah. Not only that, it also gives him more regen in the ult and in fog, status resistance, obviously amazing against Tree and Ember, and it gives him, of course, strength, and the evasion is not amazing this game, but it's still, it's like all of these nice benefits, right? If you think about why you used to buy Sanj and Yasha, I feel like a lot of the time Halberd has kind of taken its items place. Not all games, there's obviously games you go S&Y, but Halberd definitely has bumped up because of this status resistance plus lifesteal multiplier.
Right.
Where it's just a feel-good item a lot of the time. 15 seconds for bounties. Oh, Celery's dead.
Yep.
He is so dead.
Goodbye, Grimstroke. It was nice knowing this is going to be the Fort 08. Okay, Matu sidesteps the Inkswell. Nicely done. Already used his Diffusal Blade, so it's going to take a little longer than he would like. But it's still going to be his 14th agility. The bounty runes, they split? Well, they haven't just...
3 for Radiant.
Viking takes 2. Yeah, you're right.
They got 3.
Good turnaround, but Tree, it will cost him his life.
Well worth it, though.
But this allows Shad to basically finish, just needs a creep now to finish his Halberd, which is also very good against Slark, since you cannot dispel it. If you get the right timing, of course. Before he goes invis or something to that effect.
Yeah, that's the only thing he can do right now. But when if he gets BKB, then obviously that too. But it's a relatively easy item to use against Slark, actually. It's very telegraphed when Slark goes in, and he doesn't really want to Shadow Dance as the opener.
Right.
So.
Yeah, for sure. He will be going MKB on Shad next, which I guess isn't that big of a surprise. Are you surprised at all that maybe he's not... I mean, I guess we talked about this before, how he needs the damage, but Abyssal Blade typically considered God tier on Lifestealer. But
yeah, I think that would also be really good here.
Value.
But this is probably more damage per gold, right? By quite a bit. And if the logic is just we need to deal damage in this game, I have to kill heroes, which I definitely agree with. I think this is still a good choice. The control is there. He's like, I don't need Abyssal because I've got my team with Overgrowth and Slight Chains and Grimstroke, Soulbind plus Silence. We need to make sure we kill during these spells. If we don't, we're gonna lose the fights. Like every long fight, I will favor Secret all every day of the week. Like the way they ramp up with Slark getting stacks, with bat stacks. Uh-oh. Aramis?
yeah, Coil expended, and now he is completely surrounded. Actually uses the Overgrowth both on the way, though. Soft way to follow. They end up taking out the Earth Spirit, so it's a 1-for-1, as it looks like Secret want to back. Halberd used onto the Earth Spirit, or the Ember Spirit, I should say. He's gonna try to go man mode against Matu. Not sure if that is what you want to do if you're Boom. But Inkswell will help them take out Kunkka at the very least. So it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Viking. Very good rotation. I was gonna say, the Ember Spirit, it just feels like...
I don't know if it's over.
That laning state.
Oh.
Seeing the Halberd now used onto Matu. Forced to pop his ult. They're continuing to follow, and he will pounce to safety. But Ember's laning stage, he just never got back into this game, it feels like.
Yeah.
Impact. I mean, we are 23 minutes in the game, and he has a Yule Scepter. And he's going to go BKB next, which is still a long ways away. He has struggled mightily. Puppy
His absolute intro. Oh, mid. Puppy, coil.
Silence into coil, into lasso. And this is why he's just taken out repeatedly by Secret. Accelerate, TPing out. No! Oh! Flame break into the missed pounce. Unfortunate timing.
Oh my god.
Looks like the Scotty will be the choice next for Matu. So, actually pretty good against Lifestealer, not only for the slow, but for the negative regen, or whatever you want to...
Yep.
The negative healing amplification that comes with Feast. Puppy feels very farm, though. The Blink Dagger. Yeah, I never remember what to call that, in all honesty. I just call it negative regen, but that's not even remotely close. Tier 2 tower will live. Haven't really seen a whole lot of living armor on the towers thus far, at least I haven't noticed. Basically lost... I guess they've only lost their tier 1s so far. And with a 10k net worth lead, that's actually more impressive than anything. They have a 10k net worth lead. Searing Chains... Not going to be enough as Puppy got to safety. Top lane, though, Aramis was being... pinging here. Not sure who spotted who, but Matu's going to be taking out these waves easily. So, what about Roshan? Feels like 24.5 minutes in, nobody's even attempted Rosh yet. Neither team really that great against him, as we're going to see a lasso initiation. Onto Zai, into the boat, into the coil, into literally everything. They better get this kill. They will.
Wow.
Soulbind into nothing again. Let's talk about Soulbind in just a minute here. Overgrowth onto 4 heroes. Here comes Ember Spirit with his Yule Scepter doing very little damage. The Treant Protector is going to die pretty much immediately. He's going to buy back onto Zai actually. He will TP in with that Boots of Travel here very shortly. Accelerate looks to be the only casualty after the fact, though. And Matu with 18 agility now. Permanent agility. Let's talk about Soulbind. What combos they got here for Soulbind that are... I mean, they really don't have anything, do they? They have double halberd.
Wounds.
Double open wounds, double halberd, double U.
Double shadow strike.
Very good. Ember Spirit is likely dead again. Doing a good job of layering their stuns and silences, and that is his 7th death of this game. Just a really, really rough game for him, as Kobe's going to be next. They still have so many stuns, so much utility to take out these mobile heroes. I mean, talking about 2 of the most mobile heroes in the game, and they just have 0 issue. Of course, the network
Seeker are playing really good Dota for the most part. Like, they've had a little bit of slip-ups with overextension, like this bottom tier 2 tower where they dove the Treant and Viking rightfully punished them, but the vast majority of this is just Secret with really good spell casting, especially. I think that's the most impressive part. They've hit some sick pounces, some really good Earth Spirit combos, puck coils. Like, everybody in their team has had very big mechanical plays in this game, which is always watch. And Viking they just can't keep up. Like, they're just getting outplayed. I have to say, once again, I'm not a big fan of their strategy in this game. I think out of all drafts we've seen from Viking, this is the weakest for me. But I totally understand they're trying to do something different because doing their normal stuff hasn't worked, right? That's what we talked about pre-game. You've lost to the same team 3 games in a row. You gotta do something, right? You can't just let them beat you the same way over and over. So why don't you just let them beat you harder and be done with it? Yeah.
Well, I feel like from a team perspective, doesn't it make more sense to just continue to use similar strategies that you've done before and just learn from mistakes? Because it's not like their lineups were the problem. They just made a couple mistakes that ended up... Like, Secret's one of those teams, they take a small opening and they take advantage of it. right? So if you learn from the little mistakes that you make and don't do them next time, you should fare a little bit better, in theory at least.
Absolutely. I mean, I agree, but it's obviously... It's a lot of pressure to put yourself under to say, we need to play flawless, right? Like, it can maybe be easier to convince yourself that we're going to change up something strategically and catch them by surprise, or do something different, so that if they play the way they usually do, maybe we can beat them on that, right? But like, I do agree with you, that is definitely a way to do it.
On to Matu, but the coil coming in, the boat finishes off Grimster, who buys back into the game immediately. Ember Spirit, there's his Yules. Soulbind onto 2, double silence. Sonic Wave really didn't feel like it did much damage. As Viking now on the retreat next to their tier 3 tower. Aramis looks to be the first to die after the buyback from the Grimstroke. Toby jumps in, still has his blink available. A lot of damage being applied to Matu, but remember, he still has that Aegis intact. Buyback onto the Tree and Protector now. As Shad, I mean, he is still mega farmed. He's the most farmed hero in this game. It's pretty much on his shoulders at this point. Inkswell, with the Rage, it will be able to connect onto Nisha, but Shad is in a 1v4 situation, or 1v3 situation, with very little support to speak of. He's going to have to infest in his teammate Celery. That might break things up.
Imagine infesting into Celery.
Well, the next bet we have, I'm definitely...
Imagine you could be encased in anything in the world, and you chose Celery.
Is that what his name implies? That's what he chose? Even though
no, it was more like when you infest, you're like surrounded by that one thing, right?
Yes, that's true. Treant died, by the way.
Supposedly, I'm not completely certain about this. I've heard some pronounce his nickname Celery. I don't know if it has anything to do with the vegetable at all, but I don't care. It's so...
me.
No, I'm not.
I hate these like ridiculous pronunciations. Just stick with something, all right?
Stick with Xbox.
See, I can understand why people change Chavost's name, because most people can't say Ch in the US at least. Like, Americans have such trouble with Ch, which is weird. But it is a thing. It's language, Synderen. Language 101. Learn Ch.
Language 101. Americans have problems with stuff.
Well, Americans have problems with a lot of things. And guess what? I'm allowed to say that because I'm American. Matu, level 20, working on a Basher. He has the Mindbreaker applied right now in his inventory.
No, goodness, yes. If it wasn't bad enough.
Very good item.
He's going in Mindbreaker plus Basher.
Puppy is dead.
Hey guys, you want a gem?
Buyback. Not that any.
Sure thing.
Oh, is that? Okay. Didn't realize it was a gem. And we see the immediate infest into Quap. We haven't really seen a whole lot of these infest bombs. We're gonna try it here. Buyback onto the puck will be used. Puppy will be in there shortly. Sonic Wave onto 4 heroes. The Soulbind, BKB pop by Nisha though. The boat incoming. Zai's gonna be the first death here for Secret. The Quap blinks to safety. Artemis has already expended his overgrowth. Boom jumps in again. He just takes damage more than he deals out. Shad applying all he can to Matumba. The Yules to follow. Coil. Puppy showing himself with the illusory orb. Looks like they're going to use that as a retreat. I mean, Shad is doing a lot of damage, but I mean, the inherent issue with Lifestealer is that he's single target. And if you just have no... I mean, their biggest AoE spell right now is Sonic Wave, which feels a bit underwhelming. And obviously their Ember just can't deal damage right now. Do you think this BKB is the right choice, by the way?
I think it's tough to make the right choice, right? Like, you either go the defensive route and feel like you can stay in, or you get a damage route where even the slightest misstep just gets you killed. Like, the thing about BKB at the very least is it protects his Flame Guard, so he can stay in the fight for a while, deal Flame Guard damage, and stay on top of targets. But it's obviously not as much damage as if he had, let's say, a Maelstrom. Although he does have the Flame Guard damage talent instead of the Sharing Change Duration, so that helps. It's 110 DPS. All in all, I wouldn't blame him for this item. It's a really difficult position to be in. I think it's definitely a good item. Whether it's the best is...
He is planning for the late game, by the way. The confidence, I love it. He has not only the BKB queued up, but a full Shiva's Guard Cinder. And 20k behind right now. Seeker's advantage. Basher online from Matu. He's not even going to bother with the Abyssal Blade. We'll just go for a Butterfly. Like,
it's so weird to look at the gold, right? Like, the top net worth is on the losing team in a 20k game 32 minutes in. Like, Lifestealer is still top net worth, but nobody else is having a good game. Literally nobody on Vikings team.
very unfortunate. And if one of their two cores in the Quap or Ember, if they were having a decent game,
Toby going in.
Totally different. Infest Bomb onto Niche, on the BKB, the boat to follow now. Sonic Wave puts Zai on the cliff temporarily as Aramis does get the overgrowth off before he inevitably dies. Boom with the BKB, showing it off for the first time. That's the 10-second. Kunkka dies, so it's a 1-for-1, and there's the Ember Spirit finally being able to kill somebody. It is Zai. He's actually going to get the Sleight of Fist hero damage now, Talent. Matu forced to pop his ult. Shad trying to chase. Doesn't have the Abyssal Blade, so will be difficult to catch up. And actually will not be going... Okay, he will be. I was clicking on the wrong guy.
Great fight for Viking. They lost a position 4 Treant, and they got 2 cores.
Yep, for sure.
That was very nice, and really showing this Lifestealer build how much value it is. He is solo killing people during these fights. There's like an overgrowth, and he just keeps hitting the Kunkka. You know how it goes. Hit them till they're dead.
That's
what you
usually
gotta
the
do.
strategy. Yeah.
Yep.
If you don't do that, you usually lose.
This
Usually.
is true.
So he will be working towards his Abyssal Blade, still about 1600 away from actually completing it. Matu. They see him. He knows they see him. But it's going to be difficult to actually initiate. And that's kind of their issue, right? If Treant Protector's not set up with the Overgrowth, they don't have a great way right now, other than the Quap Infest Bomb, to kill somebody. But even then, you're not guaranteed to get your bash off. Once you get Abyssal Blade, maybe that changes a bit. And this poor Grimstroke, by the way, Salary, my god. He has a cloak and a boots of speed. He is mega struggling right now to find anything on the map.
Ooh, I'm not sure if they jump this Lifestealer, if it's good.
Oh, the initial... Ooh, Zai not looking for the lasso. Will force staff back in the defensive maneuver now.
Okay.
That'll break things up as Roshan is not quite up yet. He may respawn in 3 seconds. Will probably not, though. Oh, Ember Spirit. Is that a coil onto one hero? It was. So Secret, without a big teamfight ultimate, might need to back now. Gonna get Infest Bomb coming, actually. Shad applying all his pressure into Yapzor. The boat comes off, but the Overgrowth was there, like you said, locking people down. But Spirit buys back into the game as the bash onto Toby. He cannot blink out. He's going to drop the gem, and now the Lifestealer is on the cliff, pulling an Arteezy. He cannot get down in any way, shape, or form, and they will find this kill. He is armlet toggling very nicely. You can only do this for so long. Attempting to TP out. Wait a second. He actually gets out. Oh, my lord. This Lifestealer playing out of his mind right now, as Aramis will be the sacrifice. I believe all they lost was 2. That was a buyback onto...
They lost 3. They lost Quap as well, but...
Did she buy back then?
I mean, all things considered, this was a fight that they had way worse positioning for than the previous one, and this time around managing to keep a couple of key heroes alive, like Batrider not dying instantly.
Bash onto Matu. He's going to use his ult, though. Oh my god.
Oh my god, he's so
does so much damage. Still has his halberd up. Buyback onto the Grimstroke. Sonic Wave onto 3. The bash is there! They're going to kill Matu! And with that, Secret needs to get out. We'll see if Viking can chase anybody down. Ember has no remnants right now. Toby has his blink, but I don't think he's going to be able to find anyone.
Matu didn't think he could die, but this Lifestealer hits so damn hard.
Yes, he does.
He really is nailing it this game. Gotta give it to Shad. He's playing a really good game from behind. It's not easy playing Lifestealer in games that you're losing, because a lot of the time, you know, you have this like balance of, okay, I've got my rage that I can fight in, and then outside of that, I'm fragile.
Bottom.
I can get killed. But he's doing a really good job at reading what he can get away with.
Aramis is dead. Oh, the leveler was picked up. Do you prefer that on Lifestealer, or do you like the Orb of Destruction for the extra minus armor?
Hmm.
Oh, both teams got the leveler, actually.
I think you give Ember the orb and give Lifesteal a leveler? Because Ember can apply the orb, right? With a slight, and then Lifestealer can...
I believe they got...
Yeah,
was that them that got Flicker? Both
Should
teams
do that.
got Flicker. Okay, I was going to say, even Ember with Flicker, it's not that bad, but... We'll probably end up going on Celery, but we'll see. Is they going to take out Roshan? Zai jumps in!
You got the cheese.
Pops the Ghost Scepter. Yeah, he does get the cheese, but the Aegis is on your Lifestealer, as if they could kill him already. BKB popped a little bit prematurely from Boom. As now Zai, attempting to TP out on the cliff, will be successful. So no deaths. Just an Aegis and cheese exchange from both respective teams. Puppy is still being chased, but is good to go. So yeah, Shad with that leveler. He is really fat. He's actually going for a BKB next once that Aegis expires. So feeling pretty happy with his damage, and I don't blame him.
Is, is there rapier territory at any point in this game? I'm wondering. Like, is this it? I don't even know if they realize they're 20k down. Based on how well the fights are going for them, they might think it's more even than this.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, Ember and Quap should definitely be communicating and being like, okay, I'm a Quap, my inventory reminds me of 25 minutes and it's 39. But you obviously don't say it like that. That's not exactly inspiring. They clearly don't have items, so...
Yes, he's sitting on Greaves right now. We'll be going for Lotus Orb. Basically a Perseverance way. Actually, it's not. He has the Void Stone already, so it's an energy boosted Ring of Health away. We have this Aegis. I mean, Zai's gonna actually use his Firefly, and they're gonna look for Toby, who is still infested.
Don't think he saw him.
Yeah, I guess not.
No, he saw him. He had the ward. I think he saw him, but he just... It's a lot to chew through. The infested Quap has so much health.
Lifestealer is very close to level 25, by the way. Actually gets it right now.
Gonna get it in Quap's belly.
Duration. I think he has to get out to level it, or do you not? Do you have to infest out to level your...
I think so, yeah. You don't have access to your skill tree and talents when you're... I think. Maybe you do have access to your talents, but not skills. Actually,
well, either way, he jumped out, so I don't know for sure. Matu being chased. So Shad is the highest level in the game right now. Died twice and has 20 in agility. He's still only level 24, and he just hit 24 now. That's actually extremely surprising. He's the same level as Nisha. Man.
Yep. Matu has died in, I think the 2 deaths he had, there might have been follow-up kills after. I don't remember exactly how he died. Nisha also has better CS. He has another 50 creeps, so that's obviously a lot of experience too.
Toby jumps in and I'm able to find... By the way, Shad is actually pocketing his leveler, I'm assuming for the buildings. Oh, now he's changing it again to hit this, but he used spider legs for a while there. Might be switching it back.
Yeah, he doesn't have a boot slot because of Aegis.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. He's gonna pound into this tower with that leveler. The fortification is popped though. The pounce. Not gonna be really... there we go. Start of the fight now. The Yules onto the Batrider. As Rage is popped by Shad again. Lotus applied as well. The boat's coming in. Not gonna really connect on anybody. The buff will still be there. As Batrider dies instantly. 4v5, and this tower at the very least is dead. We'll see if Viking can get any more. Puck requiring the services of nobody because he apparently can get out versus 4 other heroes very easily. Shad's just gonna continue on. He doesn't care at all. Still has that Aegis, so this is gonna be at the very least massive damage to this tier 3 tower. Despite being down 22,000 gold, Viking is making this game look very even. This tier 3 will now fall. Getting kited. And there's the Aegis. We'll be back very shortly. Matu, he is hitting so fast. They have to be very careful. He's still in a lot of agility now. The Infest Bomb comes out, dealing a good amount of damage as Puppy dies. We'll buy back into the game. The Bash was there for Shad, looking for Yapster. We're not able to get another one. Really, really needed that bash to finish him off. Boom. X marks into nothing. And Viking will probably back up and be very happy with this exchange. Still 18,000 net worth lead for Secret.
Loved the play from Toby in that fight, by the way. Did you see he blinked on top of them to havoc hammer them back?
I love those plays. Yeah, that's so cool.
He looked like he was gonna die for it too. Like, it's pretty high risk for Quap to blink in behind the enemy team, but had the Lotus Orb to escape with, as well as, you know, he has pretty high amount of armor with Greaves Lotus, and maybe the Greaves active was ready. So he pulled that off very nicely. I'm super impressed with Viking. I thought this game was over 10 minutes ago. Like, not was over, but would end 10 minutes ago, and they're holding on. And not only holding on, they're actually getting themselves a substantial win percentage at this point. Like, if you look at the win graph,
I can never look at that.
It's been looking
Tell me what
real bad. Oh, Secret had like 98% at 31 minutes, I think, and now it's up to 73.
I mean, the net worth lead is still there, but in terms of building damage, almost none has been just because of this Treant Protector. Their tier 3s are super healthy, and they've taken the counter tier 3 in the mid lane. They're going to smoke up now.
I wonder what Slark talent we're going to see. We might see the Shadow Dance duration, to be honest, this game.
He's not quite 25 still.
Misha will probably take Ghost Ship Fleet.
Queen of Pain now has the Minotaur Horn, by the way, so opting for that instead of
Ember got 25 before Slark. Like,
that is insane.
That's actually crazy. You got the Remnant talent, no surprise. 2 slights charges is pretty useless when you don't deal damage, so might as well get more Remnants.
Yeah, good call, Synderen.
You're welcome.
And
utility Ember.
I said he was going to save for buyback. He actually just finishes the Shivas, so you're right. The Shadow Dance duration was taken for the Slarky Malarkey.
Yeah, I think
now
that's
Abyssal
good.
Blade finished. So this is the scary part for Secret.
Wait, Puppy got 25 before Matu?
Are you serious?
I didn't even notice. Puck is 25.
Yeah.
I didn't notice. He's highest experience in his team. He's been cutting a lot of waves. I guess he got one big solo kill or something. Or maybe they gave him a couple of books. I haven't been paying that close attention to the tomes, but this Puck 25 talent is really not a joke. And it's the fact that you have 3 25 talents coming out on the same team now, right? Like, the power spike they hit now suddenly is worth a lot of gold. You're not seeing it on the chart, but having this Puck Silence talent and having the Slark Shadow Dance second and the Kunkka getting the fleet all within 2 minutes is big. Boom. Boom. I call it. Yeah, well, it is Boom this time, actually. It is the Ember. Just got his. So it's like 3 new talents versus 1. Obviously putting Secret in a much more dangerous, or Viking in a more dangerous position for the next fight. But guess what they just got?
Synderen. No cores.
Check out,
really.
Shad is a beast.
Yes, he does have Divine. So as a result, had to pocket his boots, or just sell them entirely, I guess.
Yeah,
Spider legs.
Spider legs will be
now the choice. We get to 60 minutes. Maybe we'll see the Force boots as top lane. They'll find Aramis. Obviously not the biggest kill in the world, but kill is a kill, especially when Roshan could spawn, which he will in 30 seconds. So if they go for him, then that will force a buyback more than likely on the Treant Protector.
Oh, they called an Illu.
Oh yeah, a coil on the Illusion. Interesting.
God, this Puck Silence talent is so good. Oh, Zai with the attempt. Oh, he could have got him there.
On the boom, he's gonna pop the Shivas. There's the Abyssal Blade, and Sonic Wave just decimates Zai. Matu's forced to pop his ult as the buyback onto the Treant Protector is now here. You're seeing the Ghost Ship Fleet come into effect. They are still surrounding Puppy. They really want this kill. He is so hard to take out, though. And he will, in all likelihood, still live after all of that.
Did Zai forget he used Lasso for the Treant? Like,
why? What happened?
The way he went in, I was like, this is a really good flame break on Ember. He was in Lasso range, and then he just didn't have it. Like, if he didn't have Lasso, I'm not sure if they were trying for another combo. This is a big moment, though.
Yes, it is. Buyback onto Zai. Now he does have Lasso. Puppy Coil is now up as well, so this will be a very dangerous fight. Aramis, Overgrowth is up. So the big ults that are down are Sonic Wave and Boat. And of course, Slark, his ult will be back in 5 seconds. His Puppy's going to blink out to safety. Illusory Orb as well. He's breaking this smoke. He's just been doing this all game. Toby pops out of the Infest, and there is the Abyssal Blade, but it's with a Lotus Orb, so he stuns himself. Ghost Shift coming in. Toby's going to blink out to safety. Boat's not really going to connect to anybody. There's the Grimstroke ult coming to effect, but Toby will be first to fall for Viking as he buys back instantly. And let's look at this lifesteal. He's lassoed up, and then halberded on top of that, so he can't deal damage. He's getting really low. The Infest Bomb is down as well. So that is the Divine Rapier. We'll see who picks that up in just a moment as Aramis attempting to get out of dodge, but no buyback on the Lifestealer. And as well as Viking have played in this game to extend it, this might be the end now, as the Divine is on Nisha, the Kunkka. Pretty good hero to get that on.
Yeah, if he had a crit, it would be insane. He doesn't. True. But still obviously amazing. Yeah. Still, gotta give credit to Viking. This game is likely ending in this push if Secret try to go for it. They have 60 seconds with 3 dead heroes. They obviously don't know these heroes don't have buyback. They might have a feeling because of the Rapier. And they will absolutely be pressing their advantage to try to buy information here. But once again, like, one of the more impressive plays I've seen lately from a team that's this far behind in this patch. Usually these games just end. But Viking played super admirably from behind. Still not enough. They made it exciting for a moment.
Puppy Cinderin was sick. Ended up
the what from
Abyssal Blading the Lifesteal Lotus Orb to start that.
Yeah.
That delayed him by a good 3 seconds or so. And that could have been the difference. Tough to say, as Grimstroke will be taken out very easily, as well as these buildings. In fact, they're just going to go for the throne, knowing that Lifestealer is down for 22 seconds and does not have buyback.
The level on Slark. He hits...
Yes, that is true.
4 times a second.
He is hitting a lot as GG's come out. So Viking is out. They have lost 4 in a row to Secret, but I feel like every game we've been impressed by something. We keep saying that. Yeah. This game, it started out like, okay, this is actually a stomp so far that we've seen Viking be a part of. But they somehow made it look even when they were 20k behind, and they could have won this game, Cinderin. That last fight, nobody had buyback. That was really the end. And with the Divine, you can't be too surprised.